Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. Welcome to the ChatGPT podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Each episode, we dive into the latest developments in the exciting field of artificial intelligence, exploring its applications and potential impacts on our daily lives. The innovation in AI right now is absolutely exploding. If you want to stay on top of all the insane disruptions and innovation that's happening right now, you need to subscribe to our newsletter on AIbox.ai. We send you daily everything that is happening, the news and the crazy advancements in AI technology straight to your inbox for free every single day. So go to AIbox.ai, subscribe, and stay ahead of the curve on the world of AI. I think we can all agree that education is one of the most important industries in the world. And we today are going to talk a little bit about how ChatGPT is currently disrupting education and what these future disruptions might look like as we continue to see ChatGPT play out in the classroom and also for teachers and what role that has. So let's jump into it. First off, I think we all know that there's been a lot of controversy around ChatGPT in the classroom. I've already made my opinion known. Essentially, I view ChatGPT kind of like a calculator. I don't think you can ban this tool. I think it's going to, whether it's ChatGPT or other generative AI tools, they're going to be pretty integrated into the future coming up. And so what we really need to look at is how we can use these as tools when they're appropriate and when they're not appropriate. But overall, when it comes down to people actually using these tools in the workforce, it's very prevalent. It's going to be very popular. So I think you probably want to start learning in the classroom how to use these tools. So aside from that, for kind of students and kind of that aspect, let's talk a little bit about some of the ways that it's going to disrupt education as far as educators and teachers and how they are going to be able to actually use it. I think one of the main ways that ChatGPT is going to disrupt education is by automating a lot of the administrative tasks that educators and administrators currently perform. So for example, ChatGPT can be used to answer basic questions from students and parents, inquiries about courses, schedules, registrations, financial aid, all that kind of stuff. You can imagine this would be a really powerful tool where you would essentially give it all the information about commonly asked questions, and parents could use this on a website as like a chatbot, customer service. So, that's kind of small. In addition, I think this is going to automate a lot of admin tasks inside of for educators. Myself, having taught a university class after I graduated, I know that something like this would have been incredibly powerful to help with grading and providing feedback. I think something that a lot of online teachers do today, I have a number of friends that do this, they got to go through sometimes hundreds of students, look at what they have commented in a forum and give them some sort of feedback on it. And I think ChatGPT would be a good way where they could essentially say, write a positive feedback complimenting them on X, Y, and Z. And then ChatGPT can go and write a solid comment, or even they could say, based off of this comment, if this is the syllabus, if this is the assignment, and this is the response, what would you say to the student? And I guess this is probably controversial too, because a lot of people are like, hey, how come teachers can automate all their tasks? They're not giving actual feedback. I mean, if you think about it, when a student goes to a testing center and takes a test and it's automatically graded anyways, I don't see how this is that much different. If you could tell ChatGPT what to look for, what's a good response, what's a bad response, and maybe, if it's giving a bunch of people really bad responses, you go and review those to make sure that it's accurate. But I think this could be a powerful tool for helping automate a lot of the grading process and a lot of the kind of overall feedback process that teachers have to do, because it does take up a lot of time. And this would give them more time to focus on working on new projects and coming up with new exciting curriculum and things to do. So honestly, there is a lot of time that teachers end up having to spend on maybe more menial tasks that don't really get to use their brains as much. They're not writing research papers or doing anything crazy. So I think this is something that ChatGPT could do in a pretty effective way. Another area that I think ChatGPT is going to affect education is in the field of student support. So traditionally, student support services like counseling and tutoring have been provided by trained professionals. And even when I was at university, I remember going to the language, I think it was called the Language Learning Center or the Writing Center. Can't remember. I will confess I am not or was not an incredible writer. That wasn't my strong suit when I went into college. And so there was me and then all of the foreign exchange students that were in the writing center getting tips on how to write better essays. Of course, if I had ChatGPT, that would have been, it could have given me some tips on ways to improve my essays. But, that's another bias that I obviously have. But, in addition, I think even I have friends and family with dyslexia, and I think that, sometimes they'll do their best to write an essay or whatnot. And I think that there's just some things that are a lot harder for them to catch. And so I think being able to create some sort of content and then using a tool like ChatGPT to fix any, like dyslexic errors, like read my essay and find out if I, maybe they have a problem where they commonly flip two different words around or different words. And say, I have dyslexia. This is what it does. Read my essay and find any instances of this, highlight them for me so that I can fix them. Honestly, that would be an incredible use of ChatGPT. You're not going to get that from something like Grammarly, where it's specifically looking at whatever your disability is, and it's not going to be able to help you in the same way. So I think this is a powerful tool. I know this is controversial. Some people say it's cheating or whatever, but I think this is a really powerful tool. Everyone has different levels of abilities. And I think that this helps to level the playing field in a lot of ways. I think that while ChatGPT is still pretty new as far as technology goes, its potential to disrupt education is absolutely amazing. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. You've been listening to the ChatGPT podcast. Make sure to rate us wherever you listen to your podcasts and have a fantastic week.